back to our mind. So I'm sure you'll be chuffed with me to hear that today we've got a little phrase that I hope you can remember. I mean, I say that, it's actually quite a long phrase, so maybe you won't, but here it is. It's okay to feel all the seasons in one day. It's okay to feel all the seasons in one day. What do you think? Maybe you're thinking, what does that even mean? Well, I'll tell you. I was just thinking one day about, it was like one of those days where it started off super bright and sunny, and then within the space of no time it was like blah, 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 like full on wind and rain, and it was a completely different day. And you know, short of this being about the weather now and climate change, that just sometimes is the way that the days go. And I was thinking about how that is the case maybe mentally, emotionally. So we might wake up in one specific mood or place, and that can evolve and change as the day goes on. Now, that's not to say that there are things that we can't do to positively impact and negatively impact how we feel, hence all of these videos. But another part of being the true master of our own minds and finding our inner calm is making it okay to feel the way you feel. Looks like and how that sounds can be completely different for you, but in general for me what that means is not coming from a place of judgment when it comes to my feelings or my emotions or the things that are going on. And I think that way because judgment is a reaction. It's like a reaction to something that's happened. So if you think about, you know, judging someone else, they say or do something and we make a judgment. So part of getting out of the cycle of our own roller coaster emotions is stepping back and observing more than judging. Now I'm going to give you an example from many moons ago when I was a young warthog. I'll give you an example from a long time ago when I was young, and it sticks in my head not only because there's video evidence of it, but also because everybody talked about it. I think we even submitted it to You've Been Framed. Ah, the days of You've Been Framed. So the reason I'm going to share the story is I think it sums up pretty well what I'm getting at here, and hopefully it'll give you some strong visual imagery that you might remember when you feel similarly but in a different context, hopefully. So I'm originally from in the Scottish borders, which means there's lots of nice hills and countryside, plenty of places to climb, and therefore also plenty of places to fall. So anyway, I was out for a walk with a family, visiting one of these places. I think it was actually Hadrian's Wall. There's quite a steep hill, be great for rolling eggs, that kind of thing. But it was also the place where when it was super duper wet, it was slippy as. So we'd all kind of, I don't remember the full story, but we'd all somehow got to the bottom of the hill and we were climbing back up. Everybody else got back up to the top of the hill. It is worth pointing out, I was the youngest of the cousins, all right? You know, everybody had climbed back up to the top of the hill, and I was climbing up, and it got to the stage that every time I took a step, I would slide back down on my front. I'd get back up, and I'd slide back down. I'd get back up, and honestly, this went on and on and on for what seemed like hours. Now, the thing that's notable about this was that I was furious. Imagine mini rage, livid. And there was a few compounding factors. Not only was I falling, and I was partly like, what on earth? This is doing my head in. I just want to get to the top of the hill. I was aware that everyone was watching me fall. On top of that, they were laughing their heads off. So I had this circle, you know, I love a circle. I had a circle going on of the thing that happened, falling. My reaction, pretty angry. Feeling people were watching me, being laughed at, falling more, getting more angry. People watching, laughing, and so it went on. If we take this in the example of our day, something may happen. We might make a mistake, we might drop a plate, we might send an email we didn't mean to send, be late for work, we might do these things that just happen. And we can't necessarily control those sorts of things. You know, maybe we were being frantic, or maybe we were in a rush. Just life happening we can't control. And I wasn't trying to make myself fall down the hill. And if anything, the more I wanted to climb the hill, the more I fell back down. So here's how this is relevant to what I was saying in the beginning, in that making it okay. Now, I'm intrigued if I went back in time, whether if I'd actually found it funny myself, whether I actually just lay there and embraced the fall. Any of the reactions that I could have had that weren't based in like, this is the worst thing ever, and feeling the full weight of the situation. You know, in reality, I've just fallen down a little bit and eventually someone would have come and helped me. What I'm wondering for you, I guess, today's little challenge is that next time you feel like you are falling down a hill, insert whatever situation you're in, just see if you can, you know, we've got our notice and name from our day one, see if you can actually just take a pause and make it okay to feel what you feel about it. So when I was falling, I got angry. Yeah, pretty angry about this. And then we start to move on. But if you try and just change the situation or get over the situation as quick as possible, that's when we tend to have the most resistance. I know I did, and I know I do when it comes to emotional stuff. So if I'm angry and then I go like, oh, I'm such a bad person because I'm angry about this, I shouldn't be angry about this, angry is a bad emotion, those sorts of things, I've dragged this out way longer than I needed to. So it's okay to feel all the seasons in one day, is that knowing and reminding ourselves that our feelings, our emotions, things that happen will change, will fluctuate, and the more that we can be okay with that and make it okay that we feel a certain way, the quicker we start to dissolve the heavy negative emotions and get to a place of not only calmness but clarity to actually deal with the situation in a way that we want to, not in a way that we fall into. So I hope that's been useful. If at the very least you got a story about me falling down a hill. If you're wondering, no, we didn't get accepted to You've Been Framed, despite my family thinking it was the funniest thing. But there you go. I hope this has been helpful. Have a wonderful, wonderful